Thank you. I think there's also an element of luck within each contest. So I'm very fortunate to have gotten through each level of the contest, honestly speaking. But you're right. I think in a club setting, because it's very different. So the content you prepare for the club has to be, I guess, more lively, more entertaining, because the people watching your speech, particularly when you're doing it live and not via Zoom, is that the majority of the audience will be your club members. So they know you, they've seen you speak, they know your stories, they know your background. So it's not a case of actually redefining the person that you are, but as opposed to just making it more entertaining, more lively. So that would be the mode I would choose in a club setting to engage the club audience. But when you when you move up to an area, I tend to configure or reconfigure my speech content to make it just a little bit more serious. So the speech value has to come through a little bit more, because then you're going to be representing your club and other contestants are representing their club. And there's this competitiveness about who's representing the club and who's going to win. So the judges would look a little bit more for the speech value, particularly at an area level. And the bigger the audience, the more, I guess, the more entertaining, or the entertainment element within your speech has to come through. So when you're speaking, when you've moved beyond the area level to the division level, to a live audience, it could be a bigger venue and more audience. But at the same time, it has to be they have to have some speech value as well, because at the end of the day, the judges who are going to be judging are going to be looking at who's going to represent the division going to the district. So there's a fine balance between the entertainment value and the speech value. So it's about 50-50 at a division level. Whereas the area level, the level before that would be more, I guess, towards more, the weighting would be a bit more on the speech value. So division level, about 50-50. And once you move up and you go to the district level, at a district level conference where there are going to be a lot more people, is probably the last contest or the last set of presentations within a 3-day conference. So people have listened to maybe tons of presentations before that. They've listened to our leaders talk about very inspirational topics, club membership growth, and there's also the gala dinners and all that. So then it's also most likely it's going to be the first item on the last day of the convention. So people have just woken up, they probably hurried through their breakfast. So people are still a bit sleepy. They're still shaking off the weariness. Has to be more entertaining than it would be in a division level. So whilst you may use the same speech, which I've done from the club level right through to the district level, you have to try to tweak it in such a way that the entertainment, the humor, the punchlines have to be more prominent at a district level. So once again, you're speaking to a lot more people, and because when the entertainment element within a speech is effectively used, then the crowd or the audience will respond, and that has like a contagious effect on the rest of the audience as well. And the judges sitting within the audience would also be swayed by the audience response. So it's about getting audience response at the district level, because it's a big crowd, it's a big audience. And first item of the day out of a 3-day convention, people are tired, so you have to lift their spirits up. And the way to do that, apart from having like an underpinning the speech with speech value and your message, is how to be really entertaining and really engaging. And it's a bigger stage, so all your body language and gestures have to be magnified, as opposed to when you're speaking at a club setting, which is a smaller venue, a smaller crowd or smaller group of audience. So you may use the same speech, but I guess my suggestion would be to every time you look at the size of the audience, where you're speaking, does the audience know you? Have they heard you speak before? And what time of the day you're speaking, and whether the audience are going to be tired, whether they've just woken up and just had a quick breakfast. So all that comes into play. So it's more of a psychological elements you have to be very aware of, or to take into consideration when you're drafting the speech at each level of the contest.